Influencer. A person with the ability to influence potential buyers of a product or service by promoting or recommending the items on social media. Hi guys! So today we are doing another Talk to Sherry video. I haven't done one of these in a while. I asked you guys on Instagram for topics on like real talk conversations, and most of you commented about influencers and bloggers and all the stuff that they do. So today we're going to be talking about the influencer scam. So guys, today's video is gonna have everything relating to influencers, bloggers, vloggers, everybody. Complete transparency. I'm gonna try and give you both sides of the story because I know there's a lot of thoughts that you guys have sometimes and people are not very transparent with you. So yeah, this is gonna be a long video. Get yourself a cup of coffee, cup of tea and chill out. So firstly, I have a problem with this term influencer. I say I'm a content creator. I don't say I'm an influencer. What is the difference? I say people who are generally termed as influencers are people who don't really have a primary platform. Like they don't have a vlog, a blog. They're just like on Instagram, or they're like Viners, or they're like, of course Vine is dead now, but TikTokers. Like they don't really have like a blog or a vlog, like a point of view, like a larger picture that's out there. Now, if you feel like someone is not really creating content and it's just all about, social media and that, then yeah, probably they would fit into this definition of influencer. But I have a problem with that definition. I don't think influencers per se really help the whole industry. I feel like people who are bloggers and vloggers who do paid partnerships but have a bigger picture, have a voice, people know them. I feel like that's more relevant in today's day and age. The first topic we're going to tackle is fake followers. Okay, so I know I've never bought a single follower on a single platform, but there's this constant debate of bloggers and vloggers and influencers buying followers on Instagram, buying likes. And FYI guys, you can buy everything. You can buy likes, you can buy followers, you can buy organic followers, whatever that means. I get emails all the time with people saying, "Hi, can I help you? Would you like to buy these?" And I'm just like, no, I do not want that. My content is organic and I'm proud that it's organic. It's happening because there's no accountability, because nobody's really calling out people with fake followers, because there's no real system, honestly. Like, I think the only people who can do something about it are the platforms themselves. Like Instagram themselves, I guess, can tell when someone has bought followers, but I don't even think they can out content creators who are really big, or actors or brands, and say so and so has bought followers. It's a very tough place to be in. Like, you can speculate about someone buying followers, but you can't really be 100% sure. So it's really difficult to point fingers and say this person has bought followers for sure. The only person who can do that is the platform, and unfortunately the platform is not doing that. So if you guys want complete transparency, I think you need to be vocal about it. If you feel like someone has bought followers, I think you should report them. I think you should spread the word. Like sometimes there are so-called influencers who are at like 2,000 one day and then the next day they are 20,000. How does that happen? I do not know. I mean, organically, no. Like, they're not posting nude pictures of themselves. They're not posting anything that's like, oh my god. So then why have they suddenly gained this massive following? Now, why do people buy followers? The other problem is brands. Okay, it's become a number game. The bigger the following, the bigger the paycheck. Also, brands want to work with people who have a certain follower bracket. So when they do these campaigns, PR people usually say, okay, we're looking at people between 10,000 and 30,000, or people 1 lakh plus, 2 lakh plus, 1 million plus. So it's crazy. It's not about engagement. It's not about authenticity. It's not about who's the right fit. It's about just numbers, which is baffling, because I feel like so many times, you have people who are genuine users of that product and who use that product and talk about it on their social media organically. But when a brand wants to do a paid campaign, they don't go to that person. They'll go to someone who's never used their product. And it's evident that that person has never used their product, but they will still pay them because they have a bigger following. It's hard to break that mold, which is why a lot of, content creators go down that path of buying followers because they feel like they'll get more work if they buy followers because they'll have more followers. Also, there's just no accountability for this, right? Nobody's really calling people out. Like, there used to be this account called Diet Influencer, which was modeled on Diet Sabya, and they were actually calling out influencers with a fake following, and I was so happy that finally someone is doing the research and putting it out there for people to see. But all these people reported the account, and the account is off. They are on Twitter now, but they're not really active because they've been blocked off Instagram. And it's crazy because imagine someone who actually has a voice and is trying to like out people who are doing the wrong thing has been blocked by the platform. I mean, how does that even work? So it's sad, but there is really no accountability. So I think as viewers, as consumers of content, you have the power to change that. And I hope people can do that, because that's when the focus will shift on to engagement, organic content, genuine brand collaborations, and not just number-based collaborations. Okay, the next thing we're going to be talking about is transparency on sponsored content. Everybody, including myself, starting out, the norm was not to really say that this is a sponsored piece with, you know, so and so brand. It was always just content that you were creating. I think this whole declaration bit started when Instagram started the paid partnership tag on posts, which was supposed to be paid partnerships. Now in the US, I believe that it's illegal to not declare a paid partnership, which is why most content creators there, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, whatever, they have to declare if they are being paid to promote a product, which I think is amazing. And I try and do that in India as much as possible. The only problem here is that, you know, a lot of the brands do not want to disclose that it's a paid partnership. They want it to seem like you're doing this organically. And it becomes a fight a lot of the times. Like, I have fought with brands to say that I will not do this collaboration unless I can declare this as a paid partnership, and sometimes I've even let go of the job because of that, because it just was not agreeing with me. The other thing brands do is they can block that angle for paid partnerships on their Instagram handle. Like, you need their approval to post it on yours. So for example, if I were to partner with X brand, like when you see that thing, you see paid partnership with whatever, right? And you cannot do that without permission from that brand. So if that brand doesn't want you to do it, you can't really do it yourself if they blocked it. Of course, you can use hashtags like ad, sponsored, which is what we do in those cases when you're not, the brand doesn't want you to put the paid partnership thing, or they blocked it, then we use the hashtags. But a lot of people are not transparent about this. And in India, sadly, there is no legal obligation to do it. So even if a content creator is not declaring their sponsored content, it's not illegal. So, I mean, recently with this whole stock by love, payment controversy with Komal Pandey, I actually supported Komal and posted about it. And because I thought what they said was totally irrelevant and very silly, to say that, oh, we supported you when you were a nobody, so now we can't pay you. That makes no sense. And also saying that they are money making machines, and their explanation for this was that, oh, they don't disclose paid partnerships. How do you know that? If you are a brand, then you should be, you should have insisted they disclose your paid partnership. If you had that, you have the power to do that. So I just feel like a lot of brands, they flip-flop on both sides. They want to blame the content creators, saying that people are not declaring paid partnerships or whatever, but actually in reality, I'm someone who loves to declare paid partnerships, but 95% of the time, actually forget 95, 99% of the time, the brands don't like it and they don't approve. Okay, like very few brands come up to us and say, please declare this as a paid partnership. So I don't think you can always blame content creators, because a lot of them are not in the position, especially when they're starting out, to fight with a brand or to let go of a job or to hold their own and say, I'm not doing the job unless I can do this. And honestly, my problem is not really with the declaration or not declaring it. My problem is a lot of the actual collaborations are not genuine. That is a bigger problem for me than declaring that this is a collaboration. Which brings me to my next point, which is content creators promoting anything and everything without actually trying those products. Like, there's zero accountability a lot of the time, which I find really, really baffling. Because I mean, for me, when I am sitting here and talking to you guys or recommending products, I feel responsible. I feel like I cannot just say this is a good product without trying it, or a service without trying it. And also, reviews need to be genuine. I mean, very rarely would you ever see me doing like a brand video which is a review, because obviously if someone's paying you for a review, they're not going to let you say bad things about their product. And a review only works if it's both ways, which is why like I don't usually put branded content into those formats. And that's my bigger issue. Like, you know, with fashion, with travel, it's very easy to include sponsored content because it's fun, it's easy, it's not really, you don't have to be very accountable for the same. But with like beauty, makeup, skincare, like I would feel incredibly terrible misleading people if a product was terrible, or if I've not tried a product and I'm saying this product is great. And a lot of people are doing that, which is really disturbing. And that's where I feel like you as viewers have the power to call people out, saying, you know, yesterday you promoted this, today you're promoting this. You can't really be using like 3 moisturizers at the same time, or 3 shampoos, or 3 what else, I don't know, chaddis and tea and etc, 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 all at the same time. And also a lot of content creators only put like things they love. Like I don't see stuff they don't like, or that they don't approve of, or that they think don't buy this product. Like very few people I've seen actually go out and say, okay, this did not work for. Someone who I love who does this is Jovita George. Love the way she calls out brands. She does a lot of reviews, really honest makeup reviews and skincare reviews. I would trust her because she does it. You know, she actually calls out brands. That's exactly my philosophy with my content as well. I don't think that, oh, the brand will be offended, or oh, they won't like it, or any of those things. I'm thinking about my audience and being as genuine and as real as possible. Another point relating to the same thing is multiple content creators being part of a campaign at the same time. Okay, 2 sides to this again. It's something I don't really agree with, and very rarely you will see me with doing these kind of campaigns, especially for beauty, where everybody says, oh, this cream is amazing, it just launched, swipe up, buy it. That's not really my scene. With regards to beauty and makeup, I genuinely like to share things that I'm using at that point in time, and those are the kind of staples that you will see. I don't really like to just, you know, jump onto this group promotion situation. But sometimes what happens is the brands don't tell you that they are collaborating with other content creators, and you are just one of the 6 people they've spoken to, and you feel like you're the only person they're collaborating with. And then suddenly when you release your post, you also see like so many other people, and you're like, why didn't you tell me this? And they're like, we have no obligation to tell you this. And then you feel like, but my collaboration was genuine, I genuinely love this product, and now it looks like I don't love this product because 20 people are saying they love the product at the same time. Sadly, this happens a lot. Also, a lot of content creators don't have a problem with doing this, to be honest with you. They are happy to do it. They don't really care if multiple people are speaking about the same thing. But as, you know, consumers of this content, I want to ask you this question, because for me, I always find it baffling. I'm like, who would believe this? Like, who would believe 7-8 people, at least at minimum, are saying the same thing about the same product, same day, same week? Like, who believes that? Then even if the collaboration is genuine, it looks unbelievable because everybody is talking about it, which is the sad part. So is that how you feel? Because that's how I feel. Okay, next up we have Instagram versus reality. Now, a lot of content creators have this image or persona that you see, and a lot of people sometimes troll people saying, oh, you can't always be this dressed up, or you can't always be this perfect. But some people are, guys. Like, example, Komal Pandey. Okay, I have seen her socially many times, and this is how she dresses, does her makeup, and this is her vibe, and I think she looks amazing the way she does it. This is me. I may not wear makeup every day. I'm like kind of jhalla sometimes, and sometimes I like to wear a gown and put makeup and be like, I'm here for the red carpet. But that's me. Everybody is not the same. So I don't think that all like content creators who dress up and post pictures are fake. Like, I don't think it's like, oh, if you put makeup, that's not cool. What's not cool is if you're not the same person offline as you are online. That's more important. Like, I would say focus on the personality of the content creator, focus on how genuine they are as people. Like, are they real? Like, can you relate to them on that level, on their personality, not the way they look, not the way they dress, because those are personal preferences. And also, I don't think anyone has to follow you. Like, for example, when I dress a certain way, a lot of people say, oh, I don't like your style. Or that day someone said on my picture saying, you have so many clothes, but we always see you in a black ganji on Instagram. So true. Like, a black ganji is my go-to outfit, with whatever bottoms, with jeans, with cargos, with shorts. And I tend to favor it because it's just my safety net, and I just think of it, and I don't think about it like if I'm going to do like random stuff, I don't really care about what I'm wearing. But if I'm going to an event, yeah, I like to dress up. So everybody's personality is different. I don't think that is something you need to judge content creators on and say, oh, they're always posting only dress up pictures. Maybe some of them do dress up all the time. But are they genuine and real, and do you trust their reviews? Do you trust their voice? Coming to my next point, does the content creator you follow or the influencer you follow have a voice? Do you really know them? Do you know their likes, dislikes? Are they vocal about it? That's very important. So very often when brands come to me, for example, when people come and say, we want you to do a promotional eyeliner video, I'm like, guys, I'm the wrong person for this. I cannot apply eyeliner. My whole audience knows I struggle with eyeliner, and I cannot do like a winged liner tutorial. It's not me. I'm the wrong guy for this. And I would assume that the brand would have done their research and would know that I'm the wrong guy for this, because I've been fairly vocal about it. But a lot of the times that doesn't happen. When you're young, when you're starting out, you don't really know your strengths and you think, oh, it's a brand deal, let me do it. You realize later that you're making a fool of yourself. That's what I mean, like, be vocal about things that anger you. Be vocal about things that you don't agree with. Like, for example, whitening creams. I've said this a zillion times. I would never promote a whitening product for any amount of money, because I don't agree with the what it stands for, and I don't support it in any form or shape. A lot of people do promote it, but then that's their thing, you know. And as consumers of that content, you can pull them up there saying that this is the wrong thing you're standing by, or this is not something you should promote for money. That's where I would say, okay, yeah, it makes sense. You target the person's voice, the personality, what they stand for, not the way they dress, not the makeup they wear, all of those things, because those are all superficial. What really matters is who they genuinely are. Now, how do we stop this? When I started out, the industry was very different. Like 6 years down, things are very different. Numbers were not a thing, things were more engagement based. Like, social media was almost like a fun element. It was not this, you know, everything was not a business situation. I understand people have to make money. I'm in the same boat. This is my full-time job. I'm a content creator by profession. But at the same time, I feel like you have to be responsible. You have to stand up for certain things. And it's sad that content creators are more accountable than other people. Like, actors can sell alcohol, sell fairness cream, sell everything, but nobody ever questions them and says, why are you doing this? Or cricketers, for that matter, in our country, everybody's like, oh, it's cool. But when a content creator posts something that they should not be posting, everybody jumps on to troll them. I think this needs to change overall. Like, I feel like we have to call out people. You have to call out people that are not standing for the right things. That's the only way the industry is going to change. You have to call out people who are being fake, who are dishonest. You have to do it as consumers of that content. And if you don't do that, then I don't think it's fair to sit back and say the whole industry is like this, or influencers are fake, or you can't trust bloggers, all of them are money making machines, etc. So I would say, whenever you feel people are fake, dishonest, or not genuine in their content, call them out, report them. Ask platforms for more transparency on fake likes, fake followers. Stop these things to kind of create an industry that is organic, that's real, that's genuine, and that stands for all the right things. So guys, that's it from me. All the gyan that I had written down, I have given you guys. Comment below with your thoughts on all this. I would love to hear from you. I will be replying to each and every comment. Let's keep this discussion going. See you guys. Bye.